welcome back to the channel. My name is Emmanuel and this is FPL for Africa. Okay, so in the last video, I spoke about the round of 16 draft and players to get based on my team because if you remember, I didn't use my wild card, which was like the popular pick in match day 3, and I kept it until now. So my round of 16 transfers will be made with an idea of using the wild card in the quarterfinal stage. So it's more tailored around that. If you follow me and you follow my tactics and the way I've been going about it, this video is for you. And also, if you don't, you can always get some tips and tricks from here regarding the players you choose to pick for this match day. Okay, so in the last video, like I said, we went over the team and all this, but I found a way to make a change because if you remember in the last video, I mentioned Bill and Ramsey on who I could get, and I couldn't afford Ramsey based on the particular team I wanted to select. But after going over everything and looking at the teams I see that are going to win leading up to this point, mind you, again, I could use my white card in the quarterfinal stage. So whatever I do here, I can just take out this team. Most people won't have that luxury because maybe they use their white card earlier and they won't be able to afford some certain players because of their price, the money they have in the bank, or something like that. Despite the fact that this is going to be an unlimited transfer period. So I found a way to afford Bale instead of Rams because looking at it, Bale is on spot kicks, he's on penalties, he's on corners sometimes, even though he can actually head the ball, he can take a corner, he can take a free kick or stuff like that. He has a higher ceiling than Ramsey, even though in the last game, Ramsey ended up playing as a 9, as a striker. Well, let's just jump into it. My transfers. Okay. Now, in order to afford Bale for Ramsey, I would need 1 million spare, of which I have about 0.5 million. And to release funds for that, I would have to make changes around my team. But the thing is, I'm satisfied with my first team already, so I have to make changes from the bench. And I had to look at the two players in the last game, Forsberg and Yarmolenko, which team I think would win the match or is in pole position to win the match. And I see Sweden being a stronger outfit than the Ukrainian side. Of course, but anything can happen. But for now, I see Sweden as being stronger, fitter, and can also win the game. So I'll be taking out Yarmolenko and bringing in Pablo Sarabia, the Spanish midfielder, because he's been. Let me check his stats here. He's been greatly involved in a lot of things. He got in the first match day he was benched, second match day he was benched, but in the third game he started and he ended up proving his worth by giving about 14 points. And coupled with the fact that Spain is having an issue with strikers, of course we can always see how Morata ends up missing everything that comes to his plate. So I'll be putting him into the team. Of course, again, I don't expect him to start for me, though he starts on the second to last day, the penultimate day. But in all that, my first team is fairly okay to provide enough points for me. And if he doesn't, the only reason I'm moving him in is if the players up here do not perform as much as I want them to. Okay, and as you can see, I have the funds available to now move on Ramsey to Bale. Okay, but then that leaves me with 1.6 million in the bank, and that 1.6 million, I'm thinking of upgrading one of my defenders, or I could even go goalkeeper, whatever I want. Okay, I was looking at it and I'm not so comfortable with having two Danish defenders, though this striker is a goalkeeper, but with having two Danish defenders per se in my team as regards having Italian defenders. So I'll be switching Schmeichel out to goalkeeper, shifting Schmeichel out to Donnarumma, who has been the best goalkeeper for me in the tournament so far. Okay, which still leaves me with about 1 million in the bank. And I can decide to upgrade any of my defenders, maybe Vardiol or someone. Let me look at Vardiol first. Okay, I have 5.5 million in the bank. So taking him out, I'll have to look for a defender around that 5.5 range in a game I think is good enough for them. And looking at the whole squad right now, I think the only teams that we're looking at getting their defenders are the Dutch team, of which I already have 4 players on there, so that's not possible. The Italian team, and I'll be having 2 defenders. So why do I want a third one? And the French team as well. Now, which of the defenders is available for that price in France? Who is also starting to start? Lucas Hernandez, really don't know if he's injured, if his substitution was for a precaution. But even at that, I can't afford him. It's about 6.6 and I have 5.5 left. So Kimpembe, I have about 5.5, he's 5.6. So I continue moving on. Of course, I can't afford Pavard as well. I could go with an English defender or a German defender, just in case. Just in case. Because the Spanish defenders, if I wanted to get one, I would have liked to get Jordi Alba, but I can't afford him. It's about 6.1 million. So I'll be going with an English defender for now. John Stones is worth 5.6. Let me look at Maguire. I'm not sure it's about 6 million. So I'll be looking at Maguire since he's back and just in case. Or do I go with Gosens? That's another thing. The thing with the English team is they've not considered so far in tournament, and the team always thinks about defense first. So it's very wise to go with an English defender instead of a German defender because we have all seen how porous the Germans can be. But the thing with Germans is the attacking threat. If I go with Gosens now over Maguire, I'm more likely to get a point from him if the game ends up being a high scoring game because he can actually give you points from assists, from goals, or anything. He's very, very attacking. I could go with either Gosens or Maguire, but I'm not an English fan. If anything, I'm supporting Portugal in the tournament. I think I mentioned that in one of my videos. So for now, I'll be sticking with Gosens in my team. Okay. What dates they play? Also plays on 29th, so fair enough. He will only come into my team if I'm not satisfied with what goes on in the first few games. Okay, that's it. Confirm. Okay, transfers have been confirmed. Now let me look at. Okay, goalkeeper plays. Stecklenburg plays on 27th, and Donnarumma plays on 26th. So Donnarumma, of course, starts. Spinazzola 26th, Varane 28th, Mail. Yeah, that's his name, Mail. Plays on Joachim Mail actually. He plays on 26th, Dumfries on 27th, and everyone down here plays at a later date than everyone who starts. And like I mentioned before, my initial captain would have to be either Bale or Immobile. And now I'm looking at the Austrian backline as not being as strong as the Danish one. We also how they played in their first game, just because of what happened to Eriksen, they capitulated. In the second game, they showed the fighting spirit against Belgium. They were just unlucky not to get at least a point from that game. Then Russia, they turned them over. So the last time I captained Bale in my team, he ended up doing very well. So it would actually be nice going with him. But I'll be looking at the fact that I have this defender in my team that's male for the Danish side and be switching to Immobile as my captain. I could go with him or Berardi or Spinazzola or even Donnarumma because I have about 4 Italian players in my team. But I'll be sticking with Immobile for now. That's about it. Okay, that's it. Like I've said before, the final team draft will be posted over on Twitter. So you could check the links in the description for my Twitter page. You can follow us and see the final team which will be posted there. And also, if you're watching this video and you haven't liked or you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to reach about 500 subscribers before the end of the tournament. So please, we can do it. Do like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow further. It helps the channel grow further for more people to see, and another, will I say, motivates me to bring out more content for you. I'm currently about 5,000 thereabouts in the world ranking out of about 2.5 million players. So I'm looking at making a top 1K, having a top 1K finish, and I'm quite lucky to still have my wild card. So while people be making their transfers and be conserving based on players they think or teams they think will do well to the end of the tournament, I would just make any transfer I want in round of 16, knowing I can have my wildcard to use for free in my quarterfinal stage. And then from there, semi-final and final, we all see where we go from there. Okay, that's it. That's it. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.